Alright guys, so quite recently, NIO's president was giving out these talks at the factory. And what he talked about, particularly in this clip, was how the ET5 and ET5T, both manufactured at F2 factory here in China, have achieved tremendously good scores in Europe and achieved 5-star Euro NCAP rating. And this is all due to their confidence in their design, engineering, and manufacturing. And he said that ever since the start of the year, the NCAP rules have changed and made it extremely unfair, to the extent that a lot of people just don't want to test their cars anymore. And out of the 4 cars that got tested, 3 of them were NIOs. So this is a tremendous success and something to be extremely proud of for Chinese EV makers. And he said, and I quote, "Our sales in Europe aren't that good yet, and that these two, even though they're 2 different things, we are still the leader nonetheless. But whether we earn money or not, we're the leader right now, and the leader has yet to earn money." And by leader, he really meant in the Chinese word 学霸, which is sort of like the best student. All right, so he's saying that we're the best student. We've achieved a high score, but sometimes the best student doesn't earn the most amount of money. And in this situation, they really need to fix things and let the value of their advantage and how they're ahead as a leader be recognized and have that potential turn into actual results in terms of sales, aka earn money. So this is a very interesting dilemma that we got ourselves into. NIO is the best in terms of product, and it's verified by a lot of people and other influencers here in China that has comprehensive testing. NIO is the best, but NIO doesn't sell the best, which is very, very interesting. Now, part of this could be a result of them not really boasting about their achievements. I talked about this briefly in my previous video. Their NCAP 5-star score, you don't see any posters about that in the store. You do have videos in the store sometimes showcasing the crash test and all that kind of stuff, but they don't have any posters there. They do have some posters on the NIO app, but in the stores, they absolutely should have this kind of stuff advertising, these posters. And especially one of the things that I really noticed, for example, when an influencer, a content creator, says that this is the best something something something, for example, the ES6 is the best car in our 2023 summer testing according to DCAR, they should absolutely take that phrase and advertise the hell out of it. I mean, we've seen other big companies like Samsung do this with lots of other influencers. They get influencers to test their product, and whatever they say, they say it's good or bad, they take the good stuff and just really promotes the hell out of it. And I actually reached out to management and the general manager of NIO here in Beijing. I asked him, why don't you have these comparison posters? Clearly NIO is the best, but you're not letting people know that you're the best, and it's hurting sales. I actually told him right up front, but apparently, they used to have these kind of posters to showcase that they were the best seller, and this really actually worked back in 2021 when they had these kind of promotional stuff telling people that, hey, we're selling the best here in Shanghai, we're selling the best here as well, our sales are so much higher. Man, everybody was flocking in to buy NIOs, and the stores were sold out. I mean, I remember back in, I think it was September of 2021, the stores, the showroom, even showroom cars were sold out. The showrooms were empty. sales reps had to explain to customers using a little mini toy car model about the features of the car. It was such an interesting time during that period, right? But what we're seeing right now is, his response, the general manager's response towards why they're not having these posters to advertise, to boast about themselves, is the fact that it could be easily turned against them. Apparently, that's their excuse. It could easily be turned against them. I don't see that as a valid excuse. When somebody says something good about you, I mean, how could that be turned against you? And if you have very good sales, why don't you let people know about it? So it seems like, even though I'm not in any ways affiliated with NIO, but I just produce content about them, it seems like what they really need is a change of strategy in the stores, right? In the stores, a sales rep telling them that there's a big barrier right there. How is that going to work? A sales rep telling you the product is the best versus a very well-known content creator saying that this is the best car to buy. Who are you more likely to trust, right? So, they should have that slogan, just, this is the best car to buy in 2023 during the summer test. That's said by D-Car. Any sort of company would advertise that. Some of you guys out there in Europe or in the US or in North America or anywhere around the world, and some of you guys said you're from the UK, and you guys have said that over there in UK nobody knows about NIO. Nobody. And do you expect NIO to sell well there? First you gotta let people know about you, right? At least have people desire and want your product first, and let people know how good you are. Because it just seems like when I go to the stores and try to sell NIOs, it's just so difficult right now. It's just so difficult. You have to explain to them why your product is the best. Whereas for some reason, all right, the marketing for Li Auto, they've done a tremendous job, and people have just basically held Li Auto at the high standard, and they think that Li Auto is by default the best, and everything is comparable towards that for some reason. I think it's a good thing that the president has realized, we have such a good product, but sales aren't doing well. There's got to be something wrong. I hope there's somebody telling him that promotional and advertising isn't there. I hope he goes to the stores and tries to sell the car to a customer and see how much of a knowledge gap there is between just your average customer and what you guys know about NIO, because he knows everything about NIO, but the customer doesn't know anything about NIO. They know very little about NIO. And this is a very important thing that I'm gonna say. Building an excellent product is one thing. Knowing how to sell is another thing. A good salesperson would be able to sell you junk. Whereas if you have a great product but just bad sales and bad sales method, it could be very possible that it doesn't sell any at all. On top of that, there are some things in regards to the product that I guess would make the car more desirable. For example, if they upgraded the glass to double panel glass, and if they had a rear screen instead of just an air vent, an ugly normal air vent in the back. You're paying 300,000 RMB for a car, and it doesn't even have double panel glass. That's very unacceptable right now in this price war. And also the ugly air vent at the middle in the back, that's also unacceptable right now in this price war. Something to think about. All right.